Hi, it's Etharal here, and today we are back with our Crusader Kings 2 Geheimschmied or Warhammer mod, where we have been playing as the Skinster family of Middenland. We, in the last episode, have taken over the throne as Baldwin Skinster, removing the Todbridge family, although they are still less than pleased with us and are still trying to form a faction to be able to reclaim the actual throne from us. So what we're going to do here is, following in one of, I believe it was our grandfather who liked trying to do plots and failed quite a fair bit, we are going to try and do a plot ourselves, although this one looks like it's going to be a lot more successful. We are already able to bring in a fair few guys just initially into the plot with us. They don't actually like this guy who is a, I believe, is he not the, yes, I believe he may actually be the former emperor still. What we are going to try and do is we are going to also bring in our spy master to increase the plot chance, and then we will see how it is that he is actually going to go against us and what sort of a plot power we're at. We're already at, 200, so we are steadily increasing, and we are going to then do our age-old thing of put a bit of money into the right people's hands, and that way we should be able to expand that plot potential even more, and hopefully get up another sort of 50 to 100% with any luck. Although what does happen, unfortunately, it does look like one of the plotters, one of those risk of having quite so many people in your plot, is one of them got a little bit too drunk and basically ended up blurting out this plan to get rid of him, or hinting at part of it, which is going to make them less than thrilled about us. So we are going to have to up the ante here a little bit, and as I mentioned, put a lot of money into some people's hands. We're going to put in a lot more than we were originally planning, and that way we will then be able to bring in even more people into the fold. We're trying to just choose carefully first, though. We're focusing on these people that can sort of do the 15 to 20% rather than the 10%, although we will likely, we're going to bring those in as well. I think it's probably the best thing to do, and let's see exactly how much this does go up by, and we're up to what, 200, just shy of 300. So let's see if we can't get over that 300 mark. I think this guy is about the highest, so he's 12% there, so not a massive amount, but certainly enough to be able to do something with, and that should be able to start getting us a fair decent percentage chance. And there we go. Speak of the devil, but somebody does come to us with a plot of a loose railing, and he accidentally falls off it. Not a terrible plan, so we give it a go, and unfortunately it's a failure. He does see it, but luckily the Todbridge guy doesn't actually suspect that it was connected to this plot that he does actually know about, which seems kind of strange that you wouldn't think of that one. So we do look trying to send some gifts here. Unfortunately, these guys now are a little bit more expensive than what we can afford, so we are going to still manage to find another person in, and so we are going to actually bring him in to the, I believe that was actually her, into the fold, and hopefully be able to up the chances again. So we'll see how it's going. Here you can see my son, who is still due to sort of second in line to Reichsland as well there. We're just waiting for this guy to die so that he can then become part of our wife can then take the throne, although how long that's going to take is anybody's guess. That guy just does not seem to want to die. Here you can see he is wanting to support, there's a guy there, and so that's a bit, not too sure what's going on with that one. Sorry, I got a little bit tongue-tied to say the least. So this is the guy we had actually declared war against previously, and we're just trying to have a look at how long it's going to take us to be able to get to him. It's going to be, I believe, quite a while still. Yep, it's going to be at least 5 years or so, give or take a few months, until we were able to declare war on him and be able to take more of Ostland, to be able to expand the lands of Middenland even further, to become one of the main guys in the actual empire. Obviously our son is going to inherit both Middenland and Reichland, but for the minute we are going to focus on trying to expand Middenland as far as possible. I think that'll put us into a better situation. Just trying to have a bit of a look around to see if there was anybody that we could actually bring into marrying our, sort of arranging a betrothal. There would be the Kislev one, would be an ideal situation, but fortunately with her being leader of a revolt, apparently we can't actually betroth to her, which is a bit of a shame. So here instead we're just having a look around and going to look at trying to see if there's anybody to marry our daughter off to, maybe to be able to increase some alliances with some of these various other lands in the Empire. The main one that obviously we're not going to be able to do is Sylvania, who are the vampire counts, so we are going to need to eventually turn around and remove them. Probably have to have more than a few wars against those to be able to remove their holdings, but that is going to be a good few generations down the road. At the minute we need to be more focused in Ostland, Reichland and Norland. Although how well that one will go will remain to be seen. Here, our ally down in Bretonnia, however, the Emperor or King, High King or whatever he is called, is going into another little bit of bother. The orcs yet again are trying to move into his land, so we do decide that, you know what, we will take our guys, and this time, rather than just saying we will actually be part of the war, we will actually be part of the war. And so we're going to send down around about 4,000 or 5,000 so guys. Baldwin raises up 4,000 or 5,000 of his men and basically says, yep, you go and deal with this, show a little bit of our support, and then, you know, it's going to be hopefully a case that at least that the Empire is going to help him and maybe be able to stem the tide of the orc greenskin menace a little bit. Whether that will work remains to be seen. The orcs seem to be steadily grinding the Bretonians down and weakening them, so hopefully we will be able to stem that a little bit, but I'm probably, to be honest, I'm not really betting on the chance of that. Not that it's really all that much of a concern for me at the minute though. So here we have now managed to get this army into the shape where it is ready to go. So they all load up onto these ships and head down the river to move to the borders. They're going to move down pretty quickly, and then we'll be in a situation to be able to start attacking them with any luck. Here we are also educating our son. He is actually steadily getting better. He has not had the best genetics, being quite weak and plain, but he is actually, I think he may be worse than plain. I think he may be actually classed as unsightly, but he is still getting some desirable personality traits, so that is positive at least. Now this, unfortunately, there is a slight problem that while we have actually been moving our forces down, it was unfortunately a case that there just seemed to have been a peasant rebellion. Now that is not great and certainly not what we want, but unfortunately we quite simply do not have the forces still in the lands to be able to raise, to be able to actually do any real damage to that force. So we are unfortunately going to have to pull back our army, and we will have to deal with some internal politics before we can even consider helping the Bretonians. We want to make sure that our lands don't fall to pieces while we're trying to help somebody else. That is just, you know, be bad management idea and not something that we're going to even be willing to consider. So here we are going to instead focus and pull those guys back as quickly as we can, while we are going to raise up a fair few other forces so that we are definitely outnumbering those peasants, and then we are going to show the peasantry what happens when you try and rebel against the nobility. It, in short, does not end well for them, but hey, they want to try it, so you know what, we'll let them get on with it and see how well that goes for them. And so that is basically going to steadily move along there. You can see we are steadily moving further down, so we attempt to move our guys over there, then do actually realise that mountain pass, there is no way we're going to be able to get around it, so instead load back onto the boats, move them down a good couple, and then we will actually be able to get this fleet moving down a little bit, just because it's a quicker way basically of moving, and then that, rather than having to go through those two other counties, makes things go a little bit smoother. We'll put our boats back, there's no sense really in having them until we've dealt with this peasant revolt, and then we might look at turning these forces back around to Bretonia and helping them out slightly more if we can. And so what seems to be there seems to have been a greenskin horde come up. Brilliant, so good thing we started to pull these forces back. It seems like Emperor Baldwin Skinster is dealing with a fair few internal wars at the minute, which is not what you want to be in. Luckily he does have a fair few guys who are pretty experienced, and they have no commanders, so he is going to be able to wipe the floor with them very easily, this peasant revolt at least. We'll just take the time as well to mention that if you are enjoying the series, do be sure to subscribe here at EGN for all future videos, both to see how well the Skinsters go and to see how well everyone else does go in all of my other Let's Play series. So here you can see that we have managed to wipe the floor with those peasants, remove that revolt, and while moving while moving east to attack those, it was seen that one of our lords has done the job for us, which is brilliant. So with them having removed that risk, then we are going to decide to actually not going to go back to Bretonnia. Looking down obviously in the bottom right hand corner, if you will, you can see that they're already at a minus 35, I believe it was, I think it's actually going on a 32 I think, so they are not people that we are going to really want to try and mess with. I think it's safe to say that the Bretonnia is again going to lose more land, so instead of using our forces on a wasted war, we are going to instead focus them on securing the internal politics and preparing for the 21-28 when we will be able to declare war on Ostland again. So that is at least the situation we're going to be in. There you can see the greenskins, the amount of allies that he's managed to pull in. They are not really standing a chance. There's just too many orcs, which is a usual thing pretty much to happen, and is how orcs really like to fight. Here though, there has been another situation, I believe that, where we are now declaring again some wars on another guy, and there would appear to be another revolt going on. Oh wait, no, I do apologise, that was not another revolt, sorry, I've got myself confused there. It's actually our wife has taken the throne of Reichland, and her first edict has been to declare war on Norland, which is something I definitely want to support. So we raise up all of our forces to be able to move into Norland and attack them, so that they are being attacked on two fronts. The reason for that being is that that is going to be extra land that then will be passed down to our son ultimately. So definitely something that we want to do. We want to try and bring them further into the fold and basically get them to the point where they are going to be expanding further, and then ultimately that is going to benefit the Skinsters more, as we can expand ourselves and then Reichland can expand. If both of those are actually expanding, then in a generation's time it's just going to increase the amount of land that we're going to get, which is an ideal situation to be in basically. So here you can see we have managed to, south of Middenheim, we have assembled the pretty much full might of Midland, and when we do receive word that our actual wife is actually pregnant, which is strange considering that since she has been ruling we haven't had a chance to go and visit her. I wonder what's going on there. Not going to go and investigate into that though. I am Baldwin basically decided he doesn't want to know. He is going to raise any of those child as Skinster, as the Skinster line is already secured. The elder son, there is no doubt that he is one of mine, so he is the one that's going to inherit. So you know what, if she has a couple of other children on the side, we will keep that very, very quiet for her. And last thing that we want to do is cause any internal issues between myself and my wife, given that how powerful she is and what she can potentially do for the future generations of the Skinster family. So here, just moving further though, we're going to continue to support her and keep everything nice and quiet on what her dealings are at in the bedroom, shall we say. So here we have moved into Norland. We received word that our forces are moving very well and they are going to begin besieging a castle up here and steadily working our way around. The plan is to basically just take a few sort of different areas, occupy a fair bit of land, and then steadily work our way around and then meet up with the actual Reichland force as well, and that'll bring in a lot more. Basically bring those two large forces together. At least I believe that she has sent a large force, unless she's done my trick of relying on other people to fight your wars for you. Here you can see that our actual vassals are actually pretty happy with us, to be fair. Baldwin seems to have proven himself a fair bit. He's managed to rule for a good number of years now without actually reducing any land or losing any land to anything, and he's actually managed to expand a little bit further. So he is seen as likely quite a respected ruler. So he is happy with that, and he is going to begin to as well continue even to expand the family. The Skinster family, it's safe to say, is not going anywhere anytime soon, and hopefully we should be able to rule the mainland and maybe even the Empire in later episodes. Obviously, that is something that my goal is, as I mentioned in the last video, so let me know how you think that one's going. Fingers crossed it should go pretty well. One of the things here that I am concerned about is when we do take Reichland, however, as you can see, they are all Sigmarites, we are all Ulfric worshippers. We're going to be split 50-50 between two religions, our people, which will cause a lot of negativity. Thankfully, our wife is an Ulfric worshipper as well, so fingers crossed she may be able to do a little bit of conversion for us before we do manage to take the reins ourselves. Fingers crossed at least there. So here, what seems to have happened, because of the Nolan Grabenkind, they have unfortunately split their two lands between two, so we quickly hightail it down there, and I am going to leave it there to see, and we'll pick up next episode to see how it is that this war does go, and it should go pretty well. I think it's safe to say that we are crushing them, and well, actually no, I think we will actually probably get it finished before the next episode. So do be sure to subscribe to see what we have planned for in the future here as Baldwin Skinster. I have been Etharal, thank you very much for watching, and do be sure to hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy the video and for all of my future content.